Welcome all of you to EDUCARE Biology. Now I will discuss about the protective covering tissue of class 9 and 11. First of all, what is protective covering tissue? The protective covering tissue may be called as the tissue which lies outermost layer of the plant body, that is stem, root, leaf, etc. This is the outermost layer of stem and root and leaves. This outermost layer constituted the protective covering tissue of plants. This protective covering tissue covers the surface area of stem, leaves and roots. It protects the underlying tissues from desiccation and water loss and transpiration. Not only that, it provides gaseous exchange and transpiration, and there are several mechanical injuries and invasion of germs, that is bacteria, virus, pest, is protected by this tissue. This is called protective covering tissue. Protective covering tissue is of two types. There is one type is epidermis and other type is cork. First of all, what is epidermis? The plant organs such as root, stem and are covered by one or multi-layer parenchymatous cell, living cells, plant parenchymatous living cells. These are called epidermis. In case of root, it is called epiblemma. In case of leaves, it may be called as the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. In case of stem, it is called epidermis. This epidermis, these epidermal cells, characteristics of this epidermal cell, epidermal cells may be one layer and several layers. This is epidermal cells. It may be one layer or several layers. Epidermal cell. This is one layer. The cells are barrel shaped. These cells are barrel shaped. In the center of the cell, there is a vacuole. Cytoplasm is peripheral. Within the cytoplasm, nucleus is present. Outside the epidermis, there is a waxy layer which is made of cutin and forms the layer outer side of the epidermal cell is cuticle. This is cuticle. This is cuticle, C-U-T-I-C-L-E. This is cytoplasm. This is vacuole. This is nucleus. So, first of all, the cells are living parenchymatous. The cells are barrel shaped. The cells are on outer side of the cell, there is a waxy layer, that is this form the cuticle. Within the cell, cytoplasm is peripheral. A central vacuole is present. Within the cytoplasm, there is a cell nucleus. Okay? There are no intercellular spaces between the cells. No intercellular spaces between the cells. Tightly arranged. These are the characteristics of epidermal cell. Sometimes there may be present the trichomes in case of stem. In case of root by epiblemma, there may be sometimes root hair, that is mulrome. This is all cell. A root hairs are on cell. Next, trichomes are sometimes there may be present a small by a microscopic aperture, but pores which are called stomata. These are the characteristic features of epidermal cells. Next, occurrence of epidermis. Epidermis is present in stem, leaves and roots. I have said in case of a stem it is called epidermis. In case of root it is called epiblemma. In case of leaves it may be called upper epidermis and lower epidermis. These are the occurrences of epidermal cells. Next, stomata. There are some microscopic aperture or pores on the lower epidermis of dicot leaves, and both the layers, that is upper and lower epidermis, that the stomata are present. In case of dorsiventral leaves, that is monocot leaves, stomata are present both the layers, upper and lower epidermis. In case of dicot leaves, stomata may be present on the lower epidermis. This is the stomata. Which is guard? Stomata is a microscopic aperture which is guarded by two guard cells. This is called guard cells. Guard cells. This is called accessory cells, which are arranged by the side of the guard cells. The stomata proper is a microscopic aperture. This microscopic aperture is guarded by two guard cells. The opening of the stomata is conducted by the guard cells. When stomata are open, it allows the gaseous exchange and transpiration from the leaves. These are stomata. Next, sometimes hair-like multicellular organs are present. These are called trichomes. This is a multicellular cutinized hair. It may be present upon the leaves, stem, and sometimes it may be present on the other organs of plants. Trichomes. It protects the underlying layers from desiccation, evaporation of water, and insulation of high temperature and low temperature. The unfavorable condition is resisted by these trichomes. Trichome make a layer with covered stationary air and protect the underlying layers. It may be present sometimes. Root hairs on cell is present on the epidermis. These are called root hairs. This is not cutinized. Root hairs may be present all the roots. It absorbs water and minerals from the capillary water of the soil. These are the characteristics and occurrence of epidermis and epidermal outgrowths. Next, what functions of epidermis? Functions of epidermis, first of all, it protects the underlying layers or tissues from the desiccation, number one, from mechanical injuries and invasion or prevents the entry of germs, that is microbes, that is bacteria, virus, pest, and other microorganisms. This is called the protection. Next, trichomes. Trichomes acts as a insulating layer which prevents the high temperature, sunlight, and protects the underlying layers. It also protects the layers from grazing animals. Next, silica. Sometimes upon the epidermis, silica is deposited. This silica prevents the grasses from browsing, that is the browsing animal, grazing animals. Next, cuticle. Cutin is present on the outside of the epidermis and form a continuous layer that is called cuticle. It prevents the evaporating of water from the underlying tissues. Next, stomata. I have said that stomata is a microscopic aperture but pores which gaseous exchange takes place from this stomata. It provides not only the gaseous exchange, but transpiration takes place when the stomata is open. Next, epiblema, the one layer thickening epidermis. In case of root, it is called epiblema. They contain a number of root hairs, which is on cell. It absorbs water and minerals from the soil. Next, these are the protective tissue and function. Next, there is another type, it's called quark. There is another type of protective layer is called quark. What is quark? Quark is a multi-layered dead protective tissue which is found over stem and branches and sometimes on the root. What is the characteristics of this? What is quark? Its characteristic is that the quark cells is multi-layered. The cells of the quark is constituted with the multi-layered. This is multi-layered structure. The cells of the quark are rectangular in shape. The outer walls of the cells are suberized. Waxy suberin is deposited on the outer walls of the quark cells. This is the epidermis. Next, this is the quark cell. Quark cells. This is the cork cell. This is the epidermis, epidermal cell. This is the cork cell. Next, this is the cork cell or flame. Next, the phalogen or cork camia. Phalogen. This is the living cell. Living phalogen. Next, underlying the phalogen or cork camia, they are present phaloda, phaloda, phaloda. This is the living tissue, parenchymatous tissue. These are epidermis, epidermis. These are cork. This is phalogen. This is phaloderm, cork or phloem. A cork, phloem and phalogen, it may be called periderm. Periderm. So, cork cells are rectangular in shape. They are multilayered. They are dead cells. There are no intercellular spaces. Within the cells present gum, resin, and air. There are no intercellular spaces. These cork cells. It is formed by the division of phalogen or cork cambium. Phalogen or cork cambium. Phalogen divide and produce cork cells outwardly, and inwardly it forms the phaloderm. These cork cells of phalogen and phaloderm is called collectively is periderm. This is the characteristic and how the phloem or cork cells are produced. Due to the cork cells, outer layer impervious to water and other substance, that is nutrient and water. So, outermost layer of the phalogen form the bark. Next, structure of cork. I have said the structure of cork. Next, what are the functions of cork? First of all, protection. These cork cells give the protection underlying tissues from mechanical injuries. There is invasion or entry of germs, bacteria, virus, pest, and other animals, and some kinds of browsing animals. Next, water loss. Due to impervious, it protects the organ from water loss because deposition of suberin, it is impervious or evaporating of water. So, water loss does not get out from this there. It is weather extremes. Extreme weather, that is snow, high temperature, low temperature, and sandy atmosphere, which is prevented by the cork cells. So extreme weather are prevented by this layer. Next, aeration. In case, sometimes there may be found lens-like aperture called lenticel. These lenticels, through this lenticel, there is happened the gaseous excess, and sometimes water loss may be gaseous excess from the underlying and outward environment. This is called the aeration. Gives the aeration of underlying tissues. Next, commercial use. These corks are very, very important of commercial use. Due to the light and this is the due to the light and insulating properties. It protects the organ from outward stressing. Not only that, it from by the cork tissue, the cork cells, it gives the from this cork, it may be used for sports articles. It is insulation board. It is used for making insulation board. That is the linoleum. Next, bottle stoppers. There are several kinds of. There is the insulating board. There are several kinds of there are several kinds of articles are prepared from this cork. This is the functions of cork. This is all about your protective tissue, protective covering tissue. Thank you all. You